You got to make a reservation. It's very difficult to get in.
Well, it's okay. I'll use the service entrance. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome
And bienvenidos
to another episode of Service Entrance People. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Hola.
Hola, Pixie. For those of you who are new to the show, just jumping in, this podcast is for and about the gritty, underpaid, underprivileged service industry workers of the world.
Unite.
We clearly have made some wrong turns in our lives because no matter what, we have ended up here in jobs where no matter your talent, your artistic abilities, your skills, we do dealings with the infamous Karens and Florida Man. And Mr. and Mrs. Von Uppity on a daily fucking basis. Day in and day out, we walk through the parking lot of broken dreams and we enter through this specially marked door. You know the one!
The service entrance door.
That's correct. If you are interested in hanging out and listening and sharing in the war stories of the industry, or if you're curious as to what us,
the help,
are really thinking, we are going to educate you with stories of the strange, shocking, and hilarious, because laughing is the only way that we know how to make it through our days.
Exactly. This is an industry that we have come to truly love. And although sometimes you'll hear us, complain about working at work and rants and horror stories and the general bitching of it all, we kid because we care. There's nothing else we would rather do except maybe
this here podcast.
Correctamundo.
Also, do us a favor. If we aren't for you, listen anyway. Hate listen, rage listen, binge listen us to death, because we know that the only thing in this whole wide world better than a great horror movie is a terrible fucking horror movie.
Terrible.
Let us be your terrible horror movie.
Just awful, really.
One last disclaimer. This show, like the industries that we cover, comes with some spicy fucking language.
Ay, 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 muy caliente.
You have officially been forewarned. Please make sure that you are listening. Obviously, you're listening, right? You're listening right now.
In the car.
On the ride
to the place. In the shower, singing with your beer in hand. Shower beer.
Yeah, your shifty shower beer. Please, though, like us, rate us, share us, review us. It will help greatly us move up chart positions. You have to have words attached to what you're doing. I have no idea why. Them's the rules, though.
Or you can participate by sending stories. You can send them to serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast, or you can DM us at Instagram at Service Entrance People Pod.
Who's all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast.
I hope so, too. Please also don't forget, if you don't like the written word, you can go ahead and leave us a voicemail on our very, very automated voicemail box, 854-345-7721. No messaging rates apply. Also, you can be a producer by going to patreon.com/serviceentrancepeople and helping our show grow that way as well.
And you'll get merch and cool things.
Free merch, free cool things, bonus episodes. You get to hear your name read at the end of every single one of these episodes as well. So win, win, win. I think that's what that is.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
And most important for this very moment right now, this next part of the program is highly, highly sponsorable. I cannot stress this enough. If you want to sponsor this next segment of the show, by all means, for the love of all things holy, serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. Send us an email. Whatever product you are pushing, let us be your corporate shill. We will do it. Spacely, space sprockets, the widgets, whatever. Don't care.
Cogsley Cogs.
Exactly. Hit us up if you want to be the sponsor of the Shifty of the Week. So let's lock the doors, crank up the tunes, and raise our shifties. Pixie, what's your shifty of the week this week?
My shifty of the week is Ship's Wheel Original Hard Cider.
Woo!
That's 6.0 alcohol by volume.
Double woo!
It's a crisp blend of Blue Ridge apples, not too sweet. Now, the special thing about this shifty is that so many people are obsessed with making things with extra sugar. Not this company.
Nice.
Everything is a pure blend of balanced flavor straight from their orchard. I swear I haven't been drinking yet. So this is the OG cider.
Hell yeah. Pop that. Nice. Now, Ship's Wheel is from
It's from North Charleston.
in the south of Carolina.
I mean, yeah, South Carolina, north by northwest by southeast.
Nice, by Southwest. Awesome. Now, this week, myself, I am cheating just a little bit.
Are you?
I am.
You cheater.
I am. So, as we all know, I am a super, super healthy guy who has no health problems and is always healthy. So,
you big fat liar.
yeah. So I'm battling an infection of sorts this week. So I really shouldn't be drinking a ton on this.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to do it for the show.
Yes. It's
So
the sacrifices that you make, that we make.
for you, the listener, we gladly make these sacrifices.
Yes.
I, in addition to multiple prescription medications that I am currently taking, some of which may or may not be the fun kind.
Oh my gosh.
I am going to be drinking a drink that is only right now available to patrons of our particular restaurant.
Oh.
Yes.
What is
So,
it that you have?
Hold on. That was
Oh.
terrible. Jesus.
That was a little
It
anticlimactic.
was. Oh, boomer. Oof. Yeah. I'm not good at things. Okay. This is from our friends at Liability Brewing Company.
Aw, they're delightful.
They are awesome purveyors of Mortal Wombat, which you guys that are regular listeners of the show know that we have a huge affinity for.
Mortal Wombat!
Finish him! So they are making a new IPA that is called the Exit 8 IPA
Oh.
because the exit off of the interstate to get to our fair city is Exit 8.
Fantastic.
So this is an Exit 8 IPA from Liability Brewing Company in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh.
Again, not available just as yet for human consumption, but I'm going to have some right now. Oh, it's so good. You know what? You know what worries me?
That you
to be
like
perfectly
it
honest,
with the meds?
Well, anything with meds is better. What I'm worried about is that the Liability folks are turning me into an IPA guy because this is their second
Ugh.
IPA that I love.
At least you don't have enough hair to do a man bun.
In my brain, I have that much hair. Actually, on my Facebook page this week, I posted a picture of me from what I thought was it's just a couple years ago. And it was 21 years ago, and I had a huge, gigantic flowing Jufro just bouncing all around.
It's so old that it can vote and drink.
Yeah, it can get shit hammered, is what that picture can do. And it was a little bit sad realizing that it had been so long.
My.
Anyway, trips down memory lane aside, it is time, Pixie, to get into episode 25.
Oh,
Yes,
my
a
favorite.
milestone episode of Service Entrance People. This week's episode is entitled, it's like Freaky Friday, but on a Wednesday.
Ooh, spooky.
This is all about looking at things from the customer point of view, as we have yet to fully dive into that subject
Interesting.
in the first 24 episodes of the show.
Uh-huh.
But before we get there, gonna take a little dirty detour.
Okay.
One of the hallmark episodes of the show so far was, of course, episode 5, which was the show about poop. So I received a message from Chef Michael, who said, "Hey, I know you have talked about poop and stuff on the show, but was there a super memorable worst time to have a poop, either at work or in a life event story? Maybe at a concert in front of people, on the bus, in the elevator, pitching at a baseball game?"
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a good question.
That's a great question. And
I know I can answer that.
all right, go for it.
Really?
Yeah,
You want me
lead
to
us
tell
off.
my most disgusting story?
Lead
of
it off.
Which I am horribly ashamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, it's just us girls, plus also the entire world listening.
I'm going to hope the entire world isn't listening. I was dating a lovely Latina, and I had drank particularly heavy that evening, which, as we all know, when you're drinking, sometimes it shakes up the stomach a little.
It do.
And I had to exit her house when her younger sister came home, who shares a bedroom with her, and leaving in this dark house out of the Pennsylvania area where they're all old construction. I could not find the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'll be okay. I just need to get to my car, make it around a block to my car, only to then realize there is no way. I am going to either poop my pants in my car, or I can go down an alley, drop trow, and just let her go.
Alley, trow. Alley trow.
I was lucky that I hoard napkins in my glove box. Totally got napkins from my glove box.
Can I just say hoard, not hoard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't want people thinking weird things of you.
So, yes, that would be the weird thing.
Exactly.
So I take these napkins from my glove box, go into the alley, spray just human waste all over the wall. It doesn't even hit the ground. It sticks to the wall.
Wow.
And wipe myself, leave the napkins on the ground, head home.
Delightful. You are a delicate flower.
I am disgusting.
Now, for me, with the Crohn's disease.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
There's too many poop stories. Like, I have way too many I exploded stories.
Oh, no.
Of all of the poop stuff. In lieu of a specific one, so I could tell about one of the multiple times I literally shit the bed. Could tell about one of the times that I pooped so hard and was so weakened afterwards that my significant other at the time had to wipe me.
Aww.
But I will tell a fun story. I'll tell a fun poop story for all the family to enjoy. Finally.
Finally.
So I was out on tour with some friends of mine who are in a band and, big tour bus, like the whole 9 yards. Now, on the tour bus, there is the rule you do not shit on the tour bus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And part of that is because it's super expensive to dump the
Septic
waste out. Right.
Yeah.
But also your bunks are literally above the holding canisters. So
it's
you
smelly.
You marinate in it. So, again, with my particular gastrointestinal issues, holding it is rarely an option. So I learned the art of shitting in a bag.
Oh, like the song.
Exactly, like the song. So you take a trash bag.
Yeah.
You pop it in the old toilet there.
Yeah.
Right? You fold the toilet seat down on top of it.
Okay.
So you're still sitting on the toilet seat, whatever. You got to hold on to the edges.
Oh, my.
Right? You evacuate the building.
Okay.
You wipe yourself. Tie it up. Now, the fun part is...
It's like a human doggy bag.
It is a human doggy bag. And the most fun part is then throwing it out the window of the bus.
No.
Yes.
You're filthy.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So driving through the Midwest, somewhere between Ohio and Illinois, I absolutely threw a bag of feces that smashed into a road sign for some poor, whatever, like Illinoisville, 14 miles. Like one of those things. It's totally fucking just all over it.
I don't know if I will ever look at you the same.
You shouldn't. That was a horrible story.
Oh, my God.
I would say I immediately regret telling the story, but you know what? I regret nothing.
We're filthy.
So.
Now let's talk about food.
Let's now get into the more wholesome aspect of the show. Pixie, you have in your possession an email from a listener, which was the genesis of the idea for having this episode. So I'm going to turn it over to you to start us off.
This email comes to us from Beth from Connecticut.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, Beth. She says, Boomer and Pixie, I just wanted to say how much I enjoy listening to the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yay. It's like hanging out with old friends. That's awesome. That's actually what I strive for.
I now feel better about myself.
Yeah, see?
After the poop story, I feel as though we are redeemed.
I don't know. I think she might distance herself after that.
You never know.
A comment I have about the podcast is, in general, it seems like you start things from the perspective of the customer's an asshole and restaurant good. We don't think we're good.
No, but that's, you know what? Fair critique.
Yes.
We do sometimes get a little bit heavy on that. So, yeah, no, fair. That's fair. I'll allow that.
I will say that it's instinctual to defend our brothers and sisters in arms against those who tend to treat us like lessers.
Very true.
But that doesn't excuse it. So let's continue. However, I think some attention needs to be paid to the horrible dining experiences from the perspective of the customer. I've had many bad meals and bad dining experiences, particularly in tourist areas where it's clear that they don't want customers to return. Shout out loud to Lake Placid, New York, where I've been struggling to find a good meal for decades. Wow, decades. Yikes.
Wowzers.
So maybe some advice to your listeners on what they should look for in choosing a place to eat in an unfamiliar area. What are the signs for owners, managers, staff, chefs that actually give a shit? Also, speaking of shit.
See, it all comes back to the poop. It all comes back to the poo.
And this is a great question. Is it true that how clean a bathroom is how clean a kitchen is? Cheers. Back to my shifty, Beth.
First of all, fuck yeah, Beth.
Yeah,
on
high
all of
five.
that. High five for Beth. Now, to answer those questions, first of all, as we just said, yeah, you're totally right on the point of view thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And,
And it's a honest critique, and we appreciate that.
Yep. When it comes to the cleanliness thing, that is a pretty good corollary. It really is. If you are in a place that has a clean bathroom, if it's like spotless and nice, chances are, now it's not a like 1-to-1, but chances are, yes, the kitchen is probably pretty clean.
May I interject upon this area?
Yes.
Okay. I know that when my aunt actually used to work for that little portion of the government that checks out to see if, the establishments are clean.
You always forget this. It's OSHA.
And she's
OSHA.
worked there her entire life, and I just always forget it. She always told me.
It's like OSHA, but with an A.
I should remember it. And
That's why I'm trying to help you at this
I know,
point.
it's terrible.
OSHA.
She always checks a bathroom before she even eats. She asks them if she can use the restroom before she then returns to decide if she is going to eat there. However, what I will tell you is from my perspective, and again, this is coming from the not so much restaurant good, but just restaurant aware, that if it's a busy time, especially in a touristy area, the bathrooms might slightly fall into catastrophe for a hot second before one of us gets back there to check it.
I would definitely say during that heightened period of service, if the establishment does not have a strict attendant to those places,
Yeah,
like
if
a
there's
men's room
not
attendant
someone,
or a women's room attendant,
there's not
then
someone
yes,
standing.
things, especially in a touristy heavy spot, can go a little awry, and that does not necessarily mean that the kitchen likewise.
Exactly.
However, if it's a slow point in the day, just opening maybe, or in between services, and you go in there and it's like
A bomb went off.
World War VIII with like feces smudged on the walls, like help me across.
Old dirty baby diapers on the floor.
Tampons in the men's room.
Ew.
Then no, run. Do
Yes.
not eat there.
Yeah, get out the building, Beth. Don't.
Flee.
Don't go.
As fast as you can. So yes, that's again.
Hopefully that answers it.
It's a decent corollary. It's not 100%, but it is a good barometer.
I would do it as also your 80-20.
There you go.
80% of the time that's true, except in those 20% chance
Where
situations.
10% no matter what, it's going to be beautiful, and 10% no matter what, it's, a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which, by the way, no knock on Waffle House.
No, they're delightful.
We love you, Waffle House.
That being said, Beth gave us a story.
Hell yeah, Beth.
Go along with it. She is just on it.
This is a Bethisode.
Yeah,
That's what this
I'm
is.
loving it, and which is hilarious because that's how we're going to finish up this story. Beth
Ooh.
used to work at a McDonald's when she was in high school. She said, I remember the folks coming in, they would order a senior coffee
Oh, yeah.
and a fish fillet sandwich.
I never worked at a McDonald's, but I absolutely remember in Northampton, there was a group that sat at one table of old dudes who always had the senior coffee just sitting there.
Wow.
Looking out the window over at Bradley's and Caldor's and freaking
just people watching.
and talking shit about how kids today.
The kids today with their
Awesome. I love
loud
those old
music.
dudes. I can't wait to be one of those guys in like 2 years.
Funny. She says, I thought that it was incredibly unpalatable combination of coffee and fish.
I can, yeah.
However, perchance that McDonald's is her only food option, guess what I'd order?
What?
Coffee and a fish fillet sandwich, of course.
Yep. Don't knock it till you tried it.
She says, times fly when you're having fun. Senior coffee will be right around the corner for me. Thanks, McDonald's. I'm still loving it.
Hell yes.
Beth, you rock,
That's
girl.
so awesome.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I feel like the rest of the episode, I'm going to be living down trying to do as good as Beth has done so far on
Beth
the show.
is amazing.
So for myself, there was an incident many, many years ago when I was still working in radio, and I was the guest at this
Oh.
particular place. So me and my producer / best buddy, Chad, a.k.a. Just Chad, a.k.a. Chadwick, he and I went out to this eatery, right?
Mhm.
And on a totally super cool two guys hanging out and having dinner with each other kind of date.
Totally platonic.
Totally platonic. We were sitting there, and I was having a tough time with the server. The server was absolutely the 45-year-old mother of four who wakes up looking frazzled and just doesn't have time. I don't have
Oh.
time for any of this.
Oh, she's got no time for your nonsense.
Right. Now, Chad and I at the time were both in our 20s. I looked like I looked. So I'm
Like a hooligan?
Yes. Now, granted, I was a personality at the time, a recognizable local personality, but not everybody was
Like
hip
the-
to my charm.
Like the Philly fanatic?
Yes. Like I was a step below the local weatherman in terms of notoriety.
Oh
okay.
my.
So there we were, and the server, takes our order, brings us our food, as is typical, and I needed a refill on a drink. And 3 times I was trying to track her down, and every time just would walk past or do the whole I'm not looking at you trick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then finally, we're sitting in a booth. I'm facing one way. She drops off a plate of food, or a tray of food, I guess, to a table, and is walking back towards me. I hold up my cup, and I make eye contact. She walks past the table, and I say, "Can I please have another Coke?" She does not break stride and looked
Ooh.
at me and kept walking. And so I followed, "Can I please have a refill of Coke?" with, "As you walk by me, you shitty fucking waitress," which in hindsight may not have been conducive to my getting that.
The Coke?
Yeah.
If I was her, I would have handed you a Coke that's been pissed in.
I would have taken one off the table. Honestly, if it was me and I was a manager in that situation, I would have taken one that was at a table that had left and popped it right down at me and been like, "Here you go, buckshot. Enjoy."
Oh my goodness.
But to be fair, she really was a shitty fucking waitress.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no, and this is where, Beth, we're trying to look at it from a customer's point of view. There's no excuse for that, really.
No.
That's just terrible service. I mean, I would have laughed if she had thrown the double birds at Boomer.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
But,
That would have been epic. I will
she
say
really
that.
should
That
have
would been
refilled the
epic.
Coke. I mean, I don't get what's up with that, and that seems to be a constant problem in this industry.
It is. And there's a lot of, when I go to tables and there's a issue, right?
Mhm.
And I'll be touching a table and they'll be like, "Oh, well, this isn't right," or "They got this wrong." I usually try to be like, especially if they're downplaying it,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I wanted this and it's not cooked,"
Yes.
or "I ordered this and it's this instead," or whatever.
I wanted an unsweet tea, and I got a sweet tea.
Right, whatever it is. And I will, again, if they're being cool and they're being reasonable, I try to level with them and be like, "To be perfectly honest, guys, we have one job.
Yeah.
And if we didn't do our one job, then yeah, let me make it right. Let
Mhm.
me fix it. Let me do a thing." Because when it comes down to it, it's a simple fucking job we do. We say, "What want?" We write down what want. We punch in what want. Kitchen makes what want. We bring out what want. It's
But you have to times the
Right.
number of tables,
I know.
add in chaos
obviously
with a splash of
Entitlements.
whatever type of fuckery is going on in that person's life.
correct. But when you boil it down to its essence,
Yes.
it's not rocket surgery. And if we do make brutal, obvious mistakes,
Then it's our fault.
Right.
It's on us. Absolutely. Our next story comes to us from Chef Hope.
hey, Chef Hope, content producer Chef Hope.
Yes, Chef Hope. She writes us, "My husband, our friend, and I went out to lunch. And that is 3 chefs at one table.
1 time, 2 time, 3 times a chefy.
We waited about 10 minutes for our server to greet us. We let it go because it was fine. We were just talking and enjoying catching up over the past few weeks. Now,
Let it go.
I will have to admonish Chef Hope just a little bit
Aw, shit.
because industry standards say they can push it to 15. But I get it. You important girl, so I get you.
Now, was it before the first?
The first greet or oh shit.
Yeah, no.
You might
the
be right.
The first greet is like 60 to 90 seconds is supposed
Yeah.
to be what it is.
Oh, you might be right.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
well then
so
that's
that's
my
bullshit.
bad.
That's
well then I'll admonish
bullshit.
myself because how dare I?
Admonishment noted.
Exactly. So here we are. We got our drinks, our appetizers, and entrees all at the same time is when they put in their order.
Okay, so you gotta love that. We
Yeah.
know what we want. Here it is. Boom.
Their drinks and appetizers come out fast.
Delightful.
We finish those, and our entrees come out right after.
Okay, so good pacing so far.
Yeah, it's all
right,
going
restaurant.
pretty good.
Okay.
But the server is nowhere to be found.
You shitty fucking server.
What they really wanted, of course, all we wanted was another round of drinks.
Add to your check.
Also, there was no condiments on the table. And the dude was still nowhere to be found. They waited 10 minutes before they said, fuck it. They found out where the service station was, grabbed the condiments.
Oh, God, yes.
Which, I would admonish, but wait for it because
From
it
the
makes
restaurant
sense.
standpoint, it's like, fuck you.
Yes.
That's a faux pas.
Yeah.
But from a clientele standpoint, especially someone who is versed in the kitchen arts and the service industry of it all, that is kind of a move. Okay.
Would you let me get to it?
Yes.
Okay. The server only came back to drop off the check. Now, this place, this is where it gets good. This place is a part of our restaurant group, which is why they were able to go and just get the condiments. I mean, they could have done that anywhere, but why it just wasn't as frowned upon.
Okay. Yep. No, I see that.
So they get a discount when they show their cards. That's
Right.
why you have the incentive to eat at your own group's restaurants.
Absolutely.
So
Get
when
10% off with your
yeah,
card.
Exactly. When he comes back to get the check, he turns white and almost shits his pants because he sees not one, not two, but 3 management cards all on there.
Oh, buddy. He done fucked up, AA Ron.
Exactly. He brought the check back, mumbled, "Have a good day," and practically ran away from us.
That's fucking hilarious.
So, yeah.
Yeah, servers, it's the whole you never know who you're serving.
Exactly.
You never know. That's what we try to tell our people in terms of like, oh, well, that table looks like shit, and I'm probably not going to get a good tip for them, so fuck that, da-da-da.
Yeah,
and we're
you
like, bro,
never
you don't know.
You never.
You don't know.
What was the movie? Slam and Salmon.
That's exactly what I was going to
Yes.
say. It could be War and Peace, and the dude just wants to sit there, read his book,
Yeah,
and then tip you 200%.
exactly.
Just
you
for-
don't know. He just wanted to read the book. Obviously, he was just ordering like what,
He had-
Coca-Cola?
He had like a tea or a water, like a hot water or something, a
No,
coffee,
I think it was like a tea or a coffee.
and then an entree.
Yeah, and the server was getting pissed the
Because it was
whole time.
because he stayed there the entire night.
taking up a table.
Right. Which normally on our end is like, motherfucker, why don't you leave?
And then you get slapped with the whole, "Here is your money."
Yeah.
So
and you're
shut
like,
your freaking pie
"Oh,
hole.
boy. But that's 100% the reason why you should not do
Ever.
what that server did to poor Chef Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my reasons why I don't honk the horn when the light turns green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Is
like,
because the person may not tip you well?
no, is because you don't know if that person was just told they had terminal cancer and their brain just needed a second to like realize the light was green. So you're the asshole behind them honking the fucking horn. Wait a second. Okay? It's not going to kill you.
At least I hope not. Jess from South Carolina writes us with another
Oh.
POV story.
Hey,
Now,
Jess.
Hey, Jess. So Jess works in the industry as well,
Ah.
and she is a bartendress.
Oh,
Okay. So she writes, I am constantly judging when I go out to eat.
love her already.
You are our favorite, Jess. But one time I went to brunch with a friend at this lovely pub, which, by the way, is one of the most industry people thing to do. Because
Go
we
for
all
brunch?
we all hate brunch, but yet if given the opportunity,
We'll go for brunch.
we'll go for brunch. Exactly.
I'm
So,
sorry, did you say brunch?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
be there.
Okay.
Brunch.
Do you want to work a brunch? Fuck
no,
you.
but I
Oh,
will eat a brunch.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
So totally on point right there. So this place has delicious blueberry scones, which was the only reason that Jess wanted to go.
Scones.
They get there, and the bartender is clearly not having a good time. Okay.
Bummer.
Jess was with a guy who goes there a bunch, so the guy knew the bartender, and the bartender knew him, obviously. And so the bartender was super nice to the guy, but super dismissive towards Jess.
What a bitch.
Yeah. Anywho, she writes, she tells us it's going to be a couple minutes on the scones. They're in the oven. Okay, no worries. Jess says, I'll wait for those delicious blueberry scones. In the meantime, they got out their breakfast. And after they were done with the breakfast, it had been a while. And she starts going like, okay, So,
can I have those scones?
Yep. She asked if she could still have some scones.
Yeah, they were in the oven.
Yeah. To which she was answered with, have you seen them in the window?
Oh, my God.
Yes. All caps, by the way.
Woo! She was sassy.
I'm pretty sure my response was, Jesus Christ.
Fucking love Jess. Oh, my God.
The bartenderess apologized quickly and was like, I'm sorry. I don't know you, but he knows me, the friend, and I'm just off today. My mom just died. So, ouch on that.
I can just picture Jess, though, going like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
like, out of, like, the startled, rather than the angry.
Yep. So, however, dead mom and all, Jess was so mad about the scones, she did not tell the woman sorry her mom died.
Oh, my God.
The guy she was with, though, made sure to be like, I'm so sorry your mom died.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The funny part was...
This is all
the whole
funny.
thing has been the funny part.
Gold.
Jess, you don't know. Was she saw the scones in the window 20 minutes earlier.
Oh, no.
But the bartender was too busy sitting behind the bar to notice.
Probably sobbing.
Oh, and then she did get us some scones. Jess never eat them.
She never ate them?
Never ate them. And hasn't eaten a single scone since.
Oh, my God. You permanently put her off scones, you bitch.
That's some hardcore fucking petty Betty action.
Yeah.
And we do know that if there's one thing that I like, is a petty Betty. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Jess,
awesome.
cheers to you.
Yes.
Well played.
Very well done. Poor bartenderess, but again, like we said,
leave your shit at the door.
No,
but at the same time,
that's why sometimes we do come on that defensive, is because there's sometimes that you just end up bringing work with you, and it sucks, and you shouldn't.
Right.
But it happens.
Right. Because to be perfectly frank, I mean, it's not like when you go to a restaurant, you're like, okay, I'm expecting all these things, but if you're having a bad day, I will then rearrange all of my expectations and hopes for this meal just to placate wherever you, our server, is at. Or even worse, if the kitchen's having a bad day. Oh, you guys are having a bad day? Too bad. Make me my fucking food.
The interesting thing about this is, customer service overall, when you're dealing with, let's say, retail. Okay, it's you and that customer. This woman is saying, I want you to find me this shirt in this size in this color. So you have to go back and you have kind of like that time to yourself to do that and one person to please. In the food services industry, you're dealing with usually a section
of people.
Yeah, you have a couple of people. Plus you're dealing with coworkers from, people who are on your side of it and in either the front of house or the back of house. Then you're communicating across those sections, whether you're back of house dealing with front of house or front of house dealing with back of house. And then you have to interact with management as well.
Right.
So it's a lot of people coming at you with a lot of expectation. And that's why it can be very, very soul crushing at times.
Yeah, it can be a lot. It multiplies quickly,
it
I
doesn't
guess, how that works.
Excuse shitty service.
Not
Honestly,
even a little bit.
What should happen is they should have told that bartender to go
take a fucking day, man.
Go recover. And then,
although she didn't say when.
That's true.
The mom could have died in like April of 2016. And
it was just hitting her that day.
Yeah.
You
which
know?
At that point, pull up your big girl britches and fucking pour me a drink, monkey.
Exactly. It's a thing. Our next email comes to us from someone anonymous.
Hi, Anonymous. Do we know where Anonymous is?
Actually, I think it's from here, South Carolina.
Okay.
So Anonymous writes, the heading of this email was...
Is it entitled?
Is it entitled? 2 sides to every coin.
Typically, yes. Unless it's a 2-headed coin, in which case, technically, there's like one side twice.
It's one-sided squared.
One-sided 2 times.
So they write, I work in a restaurant and it's a bit tough sometimes, but it taught me some habits and I would like to share them with you.
Okay.
So when I order food and I know that I would like something like an extra condiment, especially ranch, I ask it when I order, which can sound weird to some people.
Yep.
But in my industry, it seems to help. The restaurant I work at is a chain. So
Chain.
Exactly. Chain of fool.
Yeah.
When someone orders extra ranch and they ask me to get it, it takes 3 minutes for me to process. I need to first ring it up in the POS. Then I have to go and wait for the kitchen to actually give it to me. I am not allowed to cross lines into Expo without being screamed at.
Oh, fuck no. Do not. No.
I cannot put a rush on that because usually it's just
God.
ignored.
Is there nothing worse than having to put something in on the fly and writing in on the fly and going, as I'm typing this, I can hear them yelling at me.
Yes.
And getting an earful from Chef about nothing is more important than anything.
Then this side of fucking ranch.
Guys, seriously, just, on the fly. It's my bad. I fucked up. Just please, just on the fly, please. They're super pissed.
And so it says, then the moment comes where I have to drop it at the table only to have the customer upset with me that it took so long and that I rang it up, which means, guess what? I had to charge them for it. And now they're wondering, why is there a charge on there?
Food cost.
It's exactly what my boss tells
See?
me. It's called ... food cost.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Anonymous, for sharing that little tidbit on the whole. I never really thought about chain restaurants, but that's a pain in the ass.
It is. And it proves at some point the inefficiencies of restaurants when it comes to the condiment situation.
Yeah.
Because it's not like there is a condiment station usually.
Yeah, it's not 100% regimented.
Right, but it's not like there's an area where it's like, here's all the condiments, just go and grab what you need, blah, 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 blah.
No.
And also...
Usually they're scattered about the restaurant,
yeah,
all willy-nilly.
Don't even know where sometimes. And then the inconvenience, as the customer was saying, of having to pay 50 cents for a ranch, a side of ranch, but the fact of the matter is
food
that...
cost.
Food costs, plus, if you're using disposable or plastic ramekins for it, that's extra money as well. So it does get to be a little bit fucking death by paper cut.
Yeah. And so the restaurant has to account for those things. So it's understandable. But I also like that this person has now learned to say, when I ask you if you could bring me ranch for my buffalo wings, could you bring me also an extra one?
Yeah.
Just to head it off at the pass?
Right. I know. I understand that you're going to charge me for it, but can I please? I do like those customers that do that know and are like, hey, just before we even get into it, I would like an extra thing. I know it's going to cost more, but We appreciate that. And that's from a customer perspective. I understand that you're not going to know how much butter you're going to need or how much ketchup or whatever. But if you see a pattern with yourself where you tend to ask for an extra or can I have some more lemons or can I have some more tartar sauce? Any of those things, try to teach yourself to ask for it at the start. Yeah, be upfront about it.
Yeah, definitely don't do the whole after the fact.
My sainted mother is always for the extra napkins. That's her thing.
Yes, please always bring extra napkins.
And when I go out with my folks, the few times that I do, I will actually be like, before we even get into things, can you please bring her some extra napkins?
Yes.
I promise you she will use them.
Yeah.
But just please. So it's helpful. And again, understanding if you're ordering something and you're saying, can I get an extra piece of cheese on there? Does it cost anything?
Yeah.
Right. And just being like, okay, so it's $2 for cheese. All right.
For me, it's always a water. I'm going to ask you for water even before I ask for my original drink because I know I'm going to want water in between.
You are a hydrating fiend.
I am.
We're going to wind down with a story again from Chef Hope.
Oh, I love it. She does her homework, that woman.
She does. She earns her content producer title.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So Chef Hope and her husband went out to dinner before going to see a show, which is very, very uptown. I mean, that's some pinky up shit there for a couple of chefs. We were craving Indian food, and we planned out a trip. We
Nice.
get to the place, and we were sat right away, looking over the drink menu. Chef Hope decides to order a cocktail while her husband gets a beer. That's Chef Matt, by the way.
Fantastic.
So when the server came to take the order, they said, "I'm sorry, we can't make any of the cocktails."
Porque.
But she could order straight liquor, and that was okay.
Tell me she just made the cocktail.
No, I wish. So Chef Hope says, first off, why have cocktails on your menu if we can't order them? Secondly, I can get straight liquor, no problem, but a cocktail is out of the question? Does not make sense. The food was great. We still had a good time, but please don't put something on your menu that we can't order, or at least tell us when we sit down that you can't do it.
Absolutely. I 100% understand. That is strange, too. If it's just filler, like
Well, now,
a Jack and Coke.
no, it's a cocktail. It's not,
Like a Tom Collins.
whatever.
We're at a Tom Collins mix.
It's a specialty cocktail menu. It's from the sounds of it, that's a
Yeah.
specialty, drink menu. Now, I myself
Mm-hmm.
pride myself
Mm-hmm.
in being one of the 7 worst bartenders in the history of the planet.
Well, bravo.
Thank you. Now, when our bartenders took some time off recently,
Yes.
I had to crawl myself behind the bar for 2 shifts of bartending.
God help our poor patrons.
Yes. Now, I am the king of the and drinks. I make a mean and drink, right? It's like
As in.
rum and Coke, gin
Okay.
and tonic. Like those, I can bang those out all day.
Yeah.
Right. But ask me to make a margarita,
And you're just
I'm-
like.
forget
say,
it.
Huh?
Old
What?
fashioned, I would literally explode. So I spent 2 fraught days behind a bar waiting for somebody to order like a big fancy cocktail for me to be like, absolutely, I'll give you a Tito's and soda. But I tried, and I did make a martini for a woman, and I asked her, I went out and did my whole manager thing. I'm like, so how's the drink, blah, blah, blah. I'm, filling in, and please give me honest feedback. She said it was the worst martini she had ever had.
I'm putting that on a button for you. I made the worst martini a
Ever.
woman's ever had.
I felt so proud. I felt like Will Ferrell in Elf when he runs and he's like, congratulations, guys, the best cup of coffee in the world.
Oh my God.
That was me, except for the worst martini ever.
Aw.
So, yes, I can't understand, and I cannot have more empathy for going into a restaurant and wanting, wow, that pineapple snazzleberry cocktail fruit punch sounds amazing. I would love that. I've heard it's your feature drink. And then being told, yeah, no, sorry. That's just there to be pretty on the menu. We don't actually do that.
Oh yeah, that would bum me out.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
I love a Tom Collins, but for me it's the redheaded slut, and I love it because you can tell a good bar will ask you first, drink or shot.
Well, there you go.
So when you get I'm just gonna look it up in that big plastic book we have. It's like is it gonna taste at all good?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Such is life. And that, Pixie, wraps us down with episode 25
Freaky Friday
of Service Entrance People, but on a Wednesday.
on that Wednesday.
Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We
Thank you.
appreciate it more than we could ever say. Please make sure that you are liking, sharing, rating, and reviewing. 5-star reviews with words is what we need. Predictive text 5 times. We don't care. Doesn't have to say anything that's real. Just has to have words.
Yep. Oh, Vicky, we're talking to you.
Come on, get on that. Please step up to the plate. Speaking of stepping up to the plate,
Mhm.
thanks to our executive producers, Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland.
Thank you.
Thank you to our content producers, Chef Hope and Jeff Teal.
Yes, thank you too.
We would love for you out there to be a part of the show as well. Email us your stories, serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 854-345-7721.
Or you can message us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast. Definitely follow that page. And find us on Instagram at Service Entrance People Pod.
You can become a producer or an executive producer, as Chris and Chuck are, by going to patreon.com/serviceentrancepeople. signing up to be a patron over there. You get free gear for doing it. You get access to bonus content, and obviously your name gets read out loud. We do want to say thank you specifically this week to all of our international listeners. It's been super freaking rad to see every week like these countries popping up on our analytics.
Boomer obsesses about the maps. I
really do. And it's amazing to see every week, Spain listening, Jamaica.
Oh, we got excited for Jamaica.
UAE have great listeners. Germany.
It's wonderful to see.
So
we're glad you're out there.
It blows our mind. It warms our heart, and it helps us, have that fire in our belly to do the show for y'all every week, because it really it means the world to us, and the fact that people are listening and are giving us their time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is pretty awesome. And if you maybe want to give just a little bit more than your time, Pixie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't want to do that full commitment, but you just want to help out a little bit, you can go to PayPal at Service Entrance Peeps and just donate once if you feel like it.
Doesn't matter what. Give us $1, give us $1 million. It helps. We are pushing this show upwards and making it stronger and better as we can. We've got...
And it's all for you guys. It's coming from the ground up, so we can sound better for you, so we can be better, so we can have better content.
Better merch.
Yes.
Wider array of stuff. So
all for
please
you.
Help us out. Help us help you. It's all going to a very good place, which is making it better.
Yeah, and don't forget to tell people that they can listen to us on all major platforms. We also now have a YouTube channel.
That is correct.
And what is that, Boomer?
That is youtube.com/@serviceentrancepeople. And one thing that you got messaged that neither of us thought about was one of the great things about our YouTube is that it is an arena that we can do closed captioning on for hearing impaired listeners.
Yes, that was brought to us by Sound Solutions on Facebook that recommended that we do that to be more inclusive for our hearing impaired audience.
And neither you nor I realized that there would be hearing impaired folks wanting to listen, which is part of just kind of being myopic at some point.
Yeah, I feel like I was a little bit of an idiot for that.
Yeah.
And we're glad now that we can help that out and have you all being able to see our show.
And enjoy it, I hope. And we thank you so much. And we will be back again next Wednesday, midnight, East Coast daylight time, for another episode of Service Entrance People. Thank you so much. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Adios.